everyone. This is just going to be a fairly short video, I hope, just to introduce a little idea to you and to see if you want to get on board with me. So I've recently finished reading a book, blah, blah, blah. She talks about it all the time on Instagram. If you've got me on Instagram, you'll notice that I have mentioned it. It's called How to Give Up Plastic by Will McCallum, and he is head of oceans at Greenpeace. And I read it because I went to see him do a talk at Derby Book Festival. In fact, the book is right here. That wasn't planned, but it's right here. And me and my mum decided we'd buy the book and have a look at it, see what he's got to offer. It does, if anything, I mean, it's a really short, quick read with very big writing, which is always nice. And it gives you really, really good tips on how to reduce the plastic in your life. Just opens your eyes really to how much plastic we're using in everyday life, and it kind of shows you that the companies who are producing this plastic and the governments, the councils, they're not really doing that much about it, which is why Will McCallum says we should, or we have tools at our disposal to be able to help the issue of plastic in our oceans, plastic in our world, which is pretty much an irreversible situation we have at the moment, in terms of how much plastic is being produced, and nobody seems to be taking account for that or being responsible for that. So he recommends a few different things, from making changes in your own life, so trying to reduce the plastic that you have in your daily life and the plastic that you use, especially single-use plastic like straws, coffee cups, that kind of thing, water bottles. And it goes all the way up through the chapters towards campaigning and writing letters to your council, or meeting with local companies, or campaigning against the actions of larger companies as well. But it also gives you these little things, sort of a table that you can write in for your action plan for how you're going to be sort of using less plastic in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. It goes through every single room. One of the things it does mention is plastic in the bedroom, and one of those is about clothing. And when we buy clothing and we wash it, often there's, 99% of the time, unless you're buying a really super duper eco kind of organic cotton thing, more often than not you've got lots of tiny microfibers and microplastics coming off in the wash and going into basically our environment. The manufacturers of washing machines haven't yet put things like filters in, and there's nothing catching these fibers, and there's nothing to stop these tiny bits of plastic going into our environment. And the way that I kind of understand it is that if we sort of are washing our clothes, yes, there's always going to be microfibers that come off, but I suppose the newer clothes are the ones that are going to be releasing a lot more of those microplastics. So this is where you guys come in. If you want to do this with me, it would be really great to have some backup, because it's going to be hard. This is the challenge that I've set for myself. Don't buy clothes for 1 year. Don't buy clothes for 1 year. That's what I'm going to do. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule. I'm going to allow myself to buy clothes from a charity shop because they're not new. But what hopefully this will do is, firstly, there will be fewer microplastics from the clothes that I'm washing going into our environment. And secondly, it sends a message to fast fashion companies that perhaps what they're producing is not going to be good for our environment. And the reason that there is a focus on microplastics is that it has been found that there are traces of plastic within every single creature on our planet that has been tested, even creatures that live hundreds of miles away from human land, like human inhabited areas. That's crazy, and it won't go away if I do this, but hopefully we can go back a little bit in time, go back to a time when there wasn't such a reliance on plastic and we didn't just buy clothes all the time, because as well as it potentially not being great ethically for the people who are producing the clothes, that's a whole other thing. We do tend to buy a lot of clothes. It's normal in our society. We buy a lot of clothes. We maybe throw away clothes. If you're a good human being, we might send them off to the charity shop, which is great. It kind of closes that cycle and encourages reusing of the clothes. But I don't know if it's a good thing that we buy so many clothes and we need to change our wardrobes every year. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try not to buy a new item of clothing for a year. And just to let you know that this is not going to be easy for me. It's not like I don't buy clothes, because I do. The last things I bought were 2 items from TK Maxx, and that wasn't planned. I just went in for something completely different, spotted a dress and I can't remember, some shoes or something, and was like, what a great bargain, I'm gonna get these. And it was fine. But then I read that book and I was like, oh my God, I'm a terrible person. So we're not terrible people. And this book, even though it's called How to Give Up Plastic, it's more about how to reduce your plastic and how to give yourselves a big pat on the back when you've done something good. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to hopefully record my trials and tribulations in TK Maxx or wherever else I might be, holding a piece of clothing that I really, really want to buy, and that I'm going to try and be strong and not do it. And if I make this video, then you all got to hold me accountable to this. But you should give yourselves a pat on the back if you have been using some items of clothing for a long time. I'm going to show off now. This is a garment, a 2-piece that I bought from Primani with the little matching blue stripe. And I've had this for about 7 or 8 years now, and I still like it, and it does its job. It's brilliant. So really give yourselves a pat on the back if you have done something like that and you've held on to some items of clothing for a while. But do let me know in the comments below you are going to do this with me, because I need some moral support, please. Thanks for listening. That's the challenge. Let's see if we can do it. Bye.